Hello, it is Throwback Thursday, June 17th, I believe it is, 2021. Steve Sipress here as the sun sets in the west on a record-setting day. Here in the Phoenix, Scottsdale area, I think got up to about 117 today. 117, which means right now it's probably down to only about 110, maybe 112 or so. Going down tonight to a low of 91 degrees. Anyway. So, let's throw it back here on Throwback Thursday to a year and a half ago, or a little over a year ago, when the great shutdown hit, and Donald Trump and all of his wisdom made the biggest mistake of his life, if you ask me, by getting bamboozled by Tony Fraudchi and the rest of the anti-freedom types to shut down everything in the country for 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Remember that BS? 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Well, of course, the negative effects of that great shutdown are still being felt and will be felt for years to come. The disruption to lives of millions and millions of Americans and, of course, other people all around the world, businesses going under, bankruptcies, divorces, suicides, marital disputes, spousal abuse, child abuse, schools still shut down, restaurants, workout gyms, things still shut down. A lot of them never coming back. So you remember when that all happened? Well, I'm seeing in the news recently, I have to laugh, but it's really fantastic, and that's today's tip, is you see these anti-freedom state governors with all their draconian, nonsensical, anti-science, pull it out of your butt lockdown orders are now celebrating the fact that they're opening back up. It is pure brilliance. You got losers, scum like Cuomo and Newsom, Whitmer, Murphy, all these anti-freedom, authoritarian and my way, the highway, I'm the king, I know better than everybody, including common sense scientists, American freedom, I know better than everyone. Let's lock everything down, or let's lock only down what I don't like. Let's keep liquor stores open, but let's lock down churches and gyms because, the virus attacks people with a weak immune system. So anything that's going to strengthen the immune system, let's shut that down. Things that are going to weaken the immune system, let's keep those open, like liquor stores. But anyway, but now they're brilliantly saying, oh, this July 4th is going to be spectacular. We're going to do it up. Fireworks, parties, this and that. We're back. I see the ridiculous, nutcases out in L.A., lots of entertainment out there, and they're coming out and going to their audience, their L.A.-based audience in their bubble of being on lockdown for a year and a half and thinking that's normal. And they go, isn't it great? We're back. We're back open. Things are opening up. The order is given. Disney World opening up. Disneyland in California. Disneyland opening up. No masks. This, that. Hey, we're getting back. I see other media outlets in New York. More entertainment, more media headquarters like, hey, we're back. I see these talking heads shows with the 8 heads on the screen at once are now actually all sitting at the table, and they're not even sitting like 42 feet apart with the fake social distancing where, of course, on every break and before and after they're actually on the air, they're standing right next to each other talking. But as soon as the break's almost over, hurry, do the fake distancing to make it seem like we really believe in that crap. And so, but now they're back and they're going, hey, look, we're back. Hey, look, hey, hello. The rest of the country, anyone in a pro-American freedom, individual responsibility, common sense state, has been open for, I don't know, a year. Schools have been open since, the whole school year, last year. Like, things are open, packed stadiums, full of people packed, shoulder to shoulder, face to face, watching ball games, restaurants packed, people having, 30, 40, 50 people over in their backyard and hanging out and, hanging out on public transportation, whatever, private transportation. I guess public transportation, you still have to do the fake, wear a mask thing, which now studies also, kind of similar point, studies are coming out proving with anyone with any brains that didn't succumb to all the the media and the political BS and use their common sense and realize that wearing a piece of cloth on your face, of course, does more harm than good. Can't possibly stop a virus, but it can make you breathe back in all the crap that you've breathed out and have a hard time breathing and breathing all kinds of bacteria sitting on your face all day and all kinds of crap. So all this is now coming out. Oh, and also, of course, the 99.9% likelihood that the whole thing, this whole virus, leaked out of the lab where they create viruses. Gee, there are actually people that suspended their own common sense and succumbed to the medium political BS that some were spreading, many were spreading, that somehow, oh yeah, we believe communist China that lies about everything. Not to mention, even if they didn't, it would make a lot of sense to lie about this thing, that they made a mistake and leaked this thing out of the virus because they were sloppy, which I think even a year and a half ago when we first heard of this virus, it was like, hey, but that lab has had some reports previously over the years of being sloppy with their stuff and it might have leaked out. Oh, no, it came from a frog or a bat or whatever. Somebody ate a bat, a mile away from the lab. That's what it was. Nothing to do with the lab. No, of course not. Just happened to be somebody eating something in a market nearby. And people actually believed that. So people believed all this crap, right? And all these shutdowns and all these anti-freedom states. But the key thing is now they're celebrating. And by the way, there's one state in America never shut down at all. South Dakota, right? If I believe South Dakota. The governor never shut down a single anything, not a single business, didn't ruin a single life, didn't cause a single suicide, didn't send people with the virus into nursing homes, to the most sensitive targets of the virus and kill lots of people. Like none of that crap was done in any of the intelligently common sense run states. However, the authoritarian dictator, statist, government knows better than you, anti-freedom, anti-personal responsibility states, brilliant PR. They're now coming out and proclaiming victory is ours. We beat the pandemic. We're opening back up, blah, blah, blah. That's brilliant. That's my message to you today as a business owner, is to celebrate your victories, even when, like in this case, they're not really victories. Those states never should have closed down. And they certainly, even if they did, they should have opened up after the 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month or two. They should have been open for at least a year now. So it's not really a victory. It's a complete disgrace, a complete screw up by the governors of those states and the mayors of those cities. It's a complete, one of the biggest screw ups of all time, in fact. History will look back and will clearly show, once the fog clears of the media and the political BS, and everyone will see that, like, holy crap, shutting down, destroying all those lives? What a mistake. What kind of stupidity. Look at those other states that didn't shut down. And a lot less suicides, a lot less bankruptcies, a lot less depression, a lot less child abuse, spousal abuse, kids going to school, a lot better education, kids better prepare for the future, blah, 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 blah. How dumb were those lockdowns? But right now, even though it's the biggest mistake these governors ever made, celebrate overcoming that mistake as if that's a victory. And here's the reason why. When you celebrate anything in your business as if it's a victory, even if it isn't, just the end of a stupid policy, for instance. Let's say you had raised your prices 6 months ago, and now you realize that was a mistake. You lost a lot of customers, people upset, long-time customers, clients, patients, members, all this stuff. So you said, you know what, we're going to roll it back. We're going to roll back to the prices. And you know what, we're going to celebrate with a big party, fireworks. We're proclaiming we are rolling back prices. We are lowering everything by 15%, but don't even mention that you raised them. Just say, we're lowering prices by 15%. This is a huge, great thing because we really love the community. We want to help more people. We want to give back. We're lowering our prices. Don't even mention the mistake you made in raising the prices, something like that, right? So even though you've made a mistake and caused all the trouble, when you undo it, do the same thing these anti-freedom, authoritarian dictator governors are doing. They're not mentioning the fact that it was the biggest mistake they ever made to have the lockdown and keep it that long. They're just saying, hey, we're back open. What a great victory. What a great day this is. Let's celebrate, okay? And the reason is because a lot of the people that are paying attention to your messaging might not even remember that you had raised the prices 6 months before. They don't remember that. And now they just see that you're lowering prices. Looks great. Maybe they, there's a lot of other businesses out there. You think you're the only business they pay attention to? They might say to themselves, hey, wait a minute. Didn't they just raise the prices? How do they remember? You think you're the only company they do business with? We all do business with hundreds of companies. You think we remember all of them? So number one, they don't remember. Number two, they weren't paying attention anyway. And number three, and number four, and number five, there's 10 million reasons. But the bottom line is, I was going to say number three, and then I realized, geez, I got to go on. This video will go on forever because I can give you 100 reasons. But the basic reason is, why don't remind people of the mistake you made. Just celebrate the, quote, success you're having now. Don't mention the failure in the past. You know, when a batter in baseball, I know I talk about sports a lot, I love sports, when a batter in baseball hits a home run and he trots around the bases and at the end of that win the game, and they interview him after the game on the field and they say, wow, congratulations on that home run. How's it feel? Tell us about that at bat. What kind of pitch did you hit? How's it feel to hit the homer? You think he sits there and goes, well, first let me tell you, I did strike out the time before. And that was really bad because I should not have swung at that curveball. And there's no way I could hit that. So I looked really foolish on that strikeout and really let my team down. I mean, bases were loaded and we could have won the game right there, but I was a total screw up. So now it's really good that I hit the home run and redeemed myself. Like, cut that out. Don't do that. Don't talk anything about it, right? Touchdown, quarterback throws a winning touchdown. They interview him right after the game. Hey, you're going to Disney World. Tell us all about it. What happened? Tell us about that touchdown. Well, because earlier in the game, I had that fumble and I had that interception. And no, what? Of course they don't do that, right? Winners don't do that. Successful business owners don't do that. And even these shyster, unsuccessful loser governors, well, they're unsuccessful in the way they handle this virus, but obviously they're successful people, very least in politics. They became governor of the state after all. So they know what they're doing with their messaging, and they don't say, hey, I've been screwing up for a year, but let's celebrate. I've come to my senses now. I'm going to stop being an ass and hurting people, and we're going to open back up. No, don't say that. Just say, hey, I'm here to announce we're celebrating. We're opening back up. And if you've made a major mistake like they did and you reverse it, celebrate the reversal, but don't mention that it's a reversal. That's the lesson today. Pay attention. Watch the messaging from these incredibly loser, damaging governors who destroyed so many lives. They will not mention that at all. They won't admit to it. They won't acknowledge it. They'll even make excuses if you ask them and go like, well, at the time, we were operating on the best information we had. And then how come all these other states were much smarter than you and cared more about their people and didn't destroy lives and stayed open? Were they operating on different advice? Like, were they, you had the same advice. You chose, some people said lockdown, some people didn't. You chose the anti-freedom, anti-American lockdown, and look what it cost you. They're not going to mention that. They're not even going to acknowledge it. But especially, that's, not a lot of business owners get interviewed by the media all the time. So it's very likely you're in total control of the messaging. No one's asking you that question, so you have to stumble and bumble and make some ridiculous excuse like these governors make if they're ever challenged on that, which they likely aren't, because these anti-freedom governors are, they have the anti-freedom media in cahoots with them, so they very rarely get called on it anyway. But you will not get called on it if you simply do what I'm doing and hold up your smartphone, turn it on, record a video, and put it up on all kinds of social media sites and your website and whatever. You're in total control of what you say. So just celebrate anytime you have changed policy to change a failure back to normal or into a success. Even better advice. Even if you just change it back to normal like these governors had. Hey, we're back to normal. Hey, you can go eat in a restaurant again at 100% capacity. Yeah, that's something extraordinary? No, that's like normal. But they're not saying, hey, we're normal now. They're saying, this is awesome. It's a time of celebration. It's a spectacular thing. You can eat in a restaurant without damaging your respiratory system by covering your face with a piece of cloth that doesn't do any good to stop a virus, or having some plexiglass up, because, this virus is also so stupid that it cannot float up in the air over a 4-foot piece of plexiglass and down the other side. It's such a a dumb virus. It's also a very kind virus that it understands human beings have to eat. So you can take your mask down while you eat, and the virus understands it's going to be very kind. It will stay inside your body. It will not go out and infect anyone. It knows you got to eat. Now, if you get up and have to go to the bathroom in the restaurant, then you got to put the mask back on, because then the virus will come out. But then when you come back to the table, the virus will not come out. You can take the mask down. The virus won't come out while you're eating and drinking. It knows you have to eat and drink. It's a very nice virus. It will very kindly stay inside only when you're eating or drinking. If you're just walking around or on the beach or walking around or, alone in your car, a lot of people still wear a mask because, for some reason the virus will, I don't know what they think. I don't think they're thinking at all. But anyway, I digress. Bottom line, I think you get the point. You control the messaging. You don't talk about your mistakes. You don't talk about that you're reversing a stupid thing you did. Pay attention to what these anti-freedom governors are doing. They're just celebrating the fantastic news they're giving. That's my tip to you today on Throwback Thursday, and that'll do it for today. I'll be back here with you tomorrow on Foundation Friday. I will catch you then. Over and out. Bye-bye.